Hello, good morning, and I hope everyone's having a great start to the day. Warmed up with your coffee or whatever it is you need to kickstart your day. And I just hope everything's well. It's one of those better days for you, like it is for me. Ain't he gorgeous? That's a male, brilliant turquoise German Stenker. She is a female, also a German, not sure if it's Stenker. I was just told German, and snakeskin, and they're a pair. And I really like these Stenkers. I was excited to get them. I'm still excited to have them because you can't get them anymore. At least not straight from the actual creator slash breeder. Out of Germany, they've stopped selling the line. They've stopped selling fish altogether. No one really has a clear answer as to why. It's all speculation in forums and such, but the website still exists. The leading theory is the family sold the business, and sales halted at that point. And it's been probably in the neighborhood of 2 years. So if you've got this strain, you're lucky, because it may not come back. At least not from them. Other people will sell it, and I hope to breed it too. But the topic I want to touch base on in this video, which I think I'll label angelfish versus discus, is in one of my discussions recently, I was speaking to an individual who has, hands down decades of experience in fish keeping. I don't doubt the individual's knowledge whatsoever. So, when someone like that says something to you, you take pause and you think about it. And I did. I actually, in the back of my mind, it rolled around for a couple of days, because I was like, oh, clearly he's got good reason to formulate that opinion. Like, there's just no questioning it in that regard, because I haven't done it, like quote unquote done it. I'm in my early stages. These fish live a long time, and it's been a year for me. And my fish keeping knowledge goes all the way back into my childhood. So I can't claim I'm an expert. Certainly I can't claim I know a thing about discus. I can't. I've learned stuff in the last year, but going into it blind. My fish keeping and, pet keeping knowledge in general was big in my childhood. I had multi-tank syndrome. I had multi-pet syndrome. I mean, every inch of the walls in my bedroom had shelving and some manner of tank or cage hosting some manner of creature, from tarantulas of all different varieties to, I think I had 3 different types of scorpion. I had a boa constrictor. I had a Burmese python. I had several tanks. I mean, I can't even, big and small, spread all over the place. They were all over the house too. I mean, my parents were pretty tolerant. And how did I get, and then I had birds. I had, at one time, over 30 different birds consisting of cockatiels, budgies, Goldian finches, fancy canaries, 2 double yellow-headed Amazon parrots, and And those were, one of those was my dad. My dad also had a blue front parrot, and I had a female double yellow-headed Amazon that I raised from a chick. And, you know, how does a kid, you know, from a relatively poor family manage to pull all that off? Well, when I was about 7 years old, they built a shopping mall just across the street from my house. And in that shopping mall, there was a newly opened pet store, and that thrilled me because I've always just been pet centric. So what did I do? Every day I walked over to that shopping mall because I'm Generation X, and the world was different back then. So I'd never let my, you know, 7 or 8 year old kids walk across the same street to the same mall. Nope. But we were wild. We were a wild bunch back then. We didn't have to worry about the world the way people do now. There were still problems, but kids were a lot safer. And I was over at that pet shop every day, staring into fish tanks and looking at stuff. And sure enough, you know, I was a pretty intelligent, interesting kid, and the owners came to like me, and you know, I kept asking for a job, and they kept reminding me that there were child labor laws. So I kind of, I don't know, as stubborn as I was, I'd loiter, and I'd listen to them sell everything and talk about all the different species, and I just soaked it all up. And then one day, they were quite busy, and I just started helping their customers and bagging fish and saying all the right things and mixing all the right species. And the owner stood back and just watched me just helping, because that's how I was. I was helpful. No one asked me. I just took the initiative, and I was sending people up to the cache to them with the properly bagged fish and everything else. And by this time I was 9, maybe 10 years old. So he cut me a deal, and he said, "This is what we'll do." After that day, it was more of a she, sorry. But she had an investor boyfriend, and this lady that was the manager, so to speak. And so the idea was that they said they were going to keep a book for me, because they can't pay me. But how they'll do it is, every cage and tank or dog pen or cat pen that I clean, I'll get $1 credit in that book. So that was a fair enough deal for me, and it was a great deal for them. And well, now I had a way to make some kind of money to buy pets. And oh, I milked that deal, let me tell you. I was over there every day changing every damn cage in place, and they didn't mind, because they got to not work, and the price was right. So I was walking home with brand new fish tanks and anything I wanted, because I'd built up so much credit. And yeah, I ended up with a zoo in my house. And that went on, you know, until I got to be in my mid-teens almost. And then 15, I started paying my own rent and working full-time jobs and living on my own. And that was it. And I had a couple tanks in my adult life, but they were just simple little, not take up much of my time tanks. And I wanted Discus since I was a child, but even back then, everyone told me, "No, they're just going to die on you. Forget it. You're just going to waste your money." Even the store owners were just talking me out of it. So finally got around to it. So, you know, don't claim to be an expert, but I'm not new to this stuff either. And I've had angelfish over my time. And every single angelfish I ever owned was freaking bulletproof. Now, mind you, I never had, you know, wild-caught ultims, and I've read they can be problematic. So, I'm not going to say all angelfish are bulletproof. The wild-caughts are probably problematic, and maybe there's even some specialty ones that might be a little finicky. I wouldn't doubt it. I wouldn't doubt it. But the statement I've been thinking about, or was thinking about, that confused me. And it makes sense. I mean, someone who's really experienced with access to like any of the equipment they could ever need or want, and they probably would look at a discus like this, the Asian varieties, as being just like an angelfish. I could see that. That would make sense to me. Because Big Red here has been in this tank a long time now. Probably about a year. And so he's knocking on the 14, 15 month door right now. And in all that time, I've had all kinds of fish in this tank, and all kinds of illnesses came into this tank over the course of the last year. And not a single one. He swam by sick fish. He swam by fish who died because they were weak for one reason or another. He never caught a thing. They were diseased out to the max. He never ever caught a thing. He's like one of my earliest fish. Now the snake skins, Bertha, I could say the same for her. She was just a tank. I think she caught a little fin rot once. That was easy to fix. And I brought in fin rot and flukes with a rainbow fish, and the fin rot came out right away, and I fixed it. But the flukes, they didn't show up for a couple months, and it was the rainbow fish. Because I went back to the pet shop that had the big old tank of the rainbow fish that I bought when I saw the fluke show up, and sure enough, half their batch was also being recently affected. So, you know, there was a timeline, I guess. And but yeah, I'll never buy angel or rainbow fish again, because the German, these guys here, they're also a German variety, and I bought up a bunch of those, and they were weak and fickle, and these two still are. If something goes wrong with my water, these ones almost die first. I watch my snake skins to see if something's wrong, because they're the ones that go south first. And I've never experienced that happen with an angelfish. I've never seen an angelfish go south when the test kit tells me everything's okay. But these German discus, they all seem to be that way to a degree. Now these snake skins are tougher than than these guys. And I bought 14 of these puppies. 2 of them have solid, pure immune systems, and that's why they're in this tank. 5 of them downstairs are sensitive to everything that could go wrong. They're just weak, and that's all there is to it. And so that's 7 out of 14, and the other 7 died. They died. They just straight up random deaths. You know, city shocked the water in the spring. I lost a couple from that, just from that. Didn't do anything to my Asians. Big red, you know, if I owned a tank full of Asians, I probably would think that discus are like raising angelfish. But I don't think that's a blanket statement, because I think angelfish are bulletproof. And I do agree that big red is bulletproof. Like, that fish is bulletproof. And this guy, he's never been sick since I brought him home either. This one right here, I'm willing to say he's bulletproof. You know, and of the sick ones, or the ones that tend to get sick, I got 2 bulletproof stinkers. Like, these 2 guys don't get sick. They didn't get cloudy eye. They didn't get, well, all the other ones did. Nothing. They eat well. They breed. They're doing so well that they've paired off. We got one with snakeskin female, and then the other male was going for Big Bertha, but now the snakeskin male's taken over Big Bertha. So I could technically pull one of these out of here and put him downstairs, but there's no point because he thrives up here, so I'm just going to leave him be. Now, this guy here, I got him bulletproof, you know. Now, if I bought 14 angelfish, I'd still have 14 angelfish. Domestic angelfish, and you would call these stinkers domesticated, because they've been captive bred for like 40 years. That's probably why they're genetically weak, to be honest. So, do I feel discus are just like keeping angelfish, like just as easy? As a blanket statement, no. You get Asians, you're more likely to get a solid fish. I mean, I have a solid fish here, and it's a German stinker, so you can get those too. But my odds were 2 in 14. So I suppose if the first time you ever own discus, you get super lucky and all you get are the super strong ones, and you don't get the weak ones, which seem to be statistically abundant, you might have a positive experience the whole way through, and you might come to the conclusion that keeping discus is as easy as keeping an angelfish. It was, you know, it was a joke, because if all my fish were like Big Red, I would definitely think this is a joke. But that's not how it works. And every angelfish I've ever owned has been a tank. I've never seen a weak one. Always been a tank. You could like let them sit in water and not do a water change for fucking months. Pardon my language. They live. They'll live in the worst of conditions for years and years and years. They really will. And you can't do that to any discus. I don't care. I don't care. You can't abuse your water and keep these fish. But you can abuse your water and keep an angelfish. So, yeah. Yeah, it was definitely a statement that gave me pause. So, but I think a very experienced fish keeper could easily think that. I really do. It's not like, you know, I think it depends who's I think it depends who's dealing with the situation. So, but personally, I don't think they're as easy as keeping angelfish. Not a chance. I do think they're very similar to keeping African cichlids. which I think are harder than keeping angelfish. I actually think angelfish are one of the hardiest fish. A domesticated angelfish, again, not the wild caughts, because I've read things about those being a little more discus-like, so to speak. But domesticated angelfish, fucking bulletproof. So I don't know. I don't know. It's a very very confident thing to say if you tell somebody that discus are the same as angelfish. Like, I understand that's probably how it is for somebody with decades and decades of continuous experience and like $500,000 worth of equipment at their fingertips. But I don't think that'll be a true statement for the average fish keeper. I don't know. What do you think? Do you think discus fish are just like keeping angelfish? You know, equally as problematic, or you know, equally as less problematic? What's your opinion? Because I think, you know, I know I spent a lot of time talking about this as a 20-minute video, but you know, you got to sort through the fog sometimes. I don't dismiss when someone makes a statement and you're trying to get a point across. I don't dismiss it. I start thinking, hey, well, why would they say that? Because I don't like to be ignorant. So, but that's my assessment from based on my experiences, right? Like he would speak based on his, and but I can't say with confidence personally that I feel discus are the same as angelfish. Maybe one day I'll say that, maybe one day, but I think a 6-year-old can keep a domesticated angelfish alive even in a 10-gallon tank for years with very little water changes and limited care. And I don't think a 6-year-old could do that with a discus. I don't think it would last a month, 2 max. Somewhere around there, it'd be dead. So there's my 2 cents, and yeah, no, I'm curious. I'd really like to hear other fish keepers' opinions. Discus versus angelfish. Are they the same? Do they require equal levels of care? And would you call them a fair comparison from a care and hardiness and survival perspective? Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you on the next one.